I just want to start this video by saying thank you for all the support in this series so far, and thank you for the support in all my videos, really. It really is a fun game, and honestly, I don't ask for likes or comments at all, ever. But it is always very cool when you guys do it without even being asked to do it. It's really, really freaking awesome, because it does help the channel, it does help all that stuff. But I will say, though, that this has been one of the most fun series I've played so far, just because it really does feel like there is a gigantic passion amongst all the fans of this game, and I can see why, because this is just such a beautiful series and such a beautiful game so far. We're going to be refuting the accusation here for these two boys. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. We're doing something. We're doing something. I think they're going to be trying to refute the accusation. I think that's what they're doing. We're not. It's the other way around. Anyway, let's get into this game, guys. I'm actually pretty excited to see what we can do here. The other two are still on the stand as well. We were the only two people up on that roof deck. Dead or alive, I can swear to that.
If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other would have noticed?
Yeah, but you're both big liars. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
What do you mean you couldn't possibly have opened it? If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? We're gonna be pressing that statement for sure, like the whole thing of like we couldn't have opened the skylight. I must say that on listening to this testimony, it's somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith. We've established that the both of them are big booty liars. The booty part is completely unnecessary. We didn't need to say that, but look, it was worth noting. That's right, you see.
We're innocent, I tell you. Although logical, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another.
What? According to the investigation by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common deals. What I love about Van Zieks, and I've said this before, even though sometimes he has annoyed me, he's actually been just like, hey, I'm just giving my evidence. I'm gonna shut y'all up. And he hasn't been like, he's been so different to the other lawyers because he hasn't really been like objecting as much. He's been letting us kind of make our own mistakes or make our own decisions and make our objections as well. It's kind of cool. It's kind of scary at the same time also.
Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich.
Juror number... Wait a second. Juror number 3? That's an anagram for Calvin. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. That's none of your business, I almost said sire. My lord. Close enough. I also uploaded today my first YouTube short. I'm not sure how people are going to react to it. Because, like, sometimes I always feel like I forget that my audience is, like, really accepting and, like, really open and honest and most times. So I'm actually kind of, like, worried to see, like, how they interact with it. But at the same time, I'm also very excited. It's not published yet. We were the only two people on the roof deck, dead or alive, I can swear to that. Hold it! I'm gonna press this one. I also want to press the fourth statement as well. So no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck? Absolutely not, Dickin.
No question about it. He said, none at all.
You was a little psychic?
Oh, but yes, of course, I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin, talking with this man here.
Is this true, Mr. McGilded?
Dear me, my lord, at the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the Omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately.
That's an outright lie. Without doubt you were engaged in...
Let me stop you there, fella, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? At all?
Oh.
'Tis all about evidence in the court these days, so it is. You do well to remember that.
Oh, I saw you with my own eyes. He hurts my teeth every time he does that. This is going well.
If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man. Yeah, we'll press this too. We'll press this one too. So you had never met Mr. Thrice Fried Mason before? Fired.
Oh, Lumen, no. Not once, never.
He never met the man before, he said. Never.
And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either?
That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, perfectly honest.
I forgot that these guys are also here, which is actually kind of interesting.
No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest
Connections. Oh, he's laughing. Excuse me. I love that it's just like, hey, excuse me. Mr. McGilded?
Yes, yes, counsel. What can I be doing for you?
Did the witness last statement give you pause for thought somehow?
Not the remotest connection. Is that right now, I wonder?
What are you insinuating there?
Ah, Mr. Fairplay, it has been too long, so it has.
Huh?
If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is not your repayment date.
What a scumbag. In the middle of the courtroom, like,
I beg your pardon?
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion.
See, this is actually like very interesting because they actually pose like very interesting like characters here and give you interesting characters. Like, even though you're and like that's one thing that the Ace Attorney games do very well. They give you a character that's not always fun to defend. You know what I mean? It's not always the most fun to defend them, but you have to defend them. And that's the law sometimes too. Your job really isn't to like back up a bad person in most cases. Your job really is to like provide all reason. And here's the thing. Just being honest here, just being totally truthful. The job of a lawyer isn't just to lie for and try and like get their criminal off. It's you criminal. I hate the word criminal. It's honestly just to like again provide all evidence to the point so that there is a case enough that there's no reasonable doubt. You know what I mean? There's no doubt in everyone's mind. Some people though will take it as I just have to, without any unconscionable reason, get off this person. And get off this person. Jesus Christ, we're stumbling over our words today, but you know what I mean. That's why I think so many people have distrust of lawyers and stuff like that, because I think it has become just like very much just like, how can I get the win here? Yeah. But in Phoenix Wright, if you remember, like, there was a great moment where two of them were like working together to fight against the bad guy, and it was really cool because it's like these guys are like truly care about like the law and truly have like morals.
Well, now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fellow to pass his crimes off on another.
Oh!
I'm just always amazed by the art style in this game. It's beautiful. You know what's funny with the art style in this game? Sorry for interrupting myself again. This is never going to be outdated. Like, it's never going to be dated.
Me, sir? What you want me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head, is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, it's still just an apprentice. I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it. I tell you, they'd like a distinctive touch. Customers? Such as Thrice Fried Mason.
Oh.
There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence before, my lord.
Oh, you mean,
Oh, he has a hat. It's a very weird hat.
I can't help thinking that the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh! That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is. So it seemed the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer, I wager, you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh no, sir, absolutely not. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't their modus connection to the victim, you see.
Thank you so much, Mr. McGilded.
I rest me case.
You little weasel!
He's better at this than I am. He's pretty good. Gosh, Mr. McGilded has certainly been through his research, or thorough with his research. So we're just moving on?
Please, don't let me
Oh, Hat Hunter.
For having identified a millionaire responsible for the victim's hat in episode 3.
Oh, so it's just, okay. So that's an achievement. Okay, so you could maybe not have gotten that then.
So that's not to progress the story. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We can possibly open it.
You make me nervous every time you do this. When you do this, it makes me more nervous than anything before. And there's literally been characters in the previous games who, like, are adults harping after teenagers. And you're making me really nervous, too. Like, I'm just telling you right now.
Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time?
I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. Oh yeah, I'm going to lose my block with you.
He's going to do his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said.
Take a look for yourself. Go on.
Oh, so we can actually look in here.
You see? It's shut fast now.
Just like it was in the night. There's literally, that's a handle right there. Look at that. Look at that thing there. That's a handle.
So it is. Of course, a fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break right through it and still and all.
Whoa.
Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand.
Oh, now you hold on there, mister. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture, shall we?
Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shocked myself as it happens.
Good sir, you are representing all twinks of Britain. Please do not talk about farting.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First.
Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck. I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Ugh. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as rouge.
Rouge I did. So you can't open it from the inside?
No, sir. The point is,
Sorry, I skipped that dialogue there. It's okay, though.
the skylight can't be open. I tried and tried when I was inside the cabin and shade.
I see a handle on the freaking thing. Oh. Gina, who's apparently very popular. Apparently very popular, which is cool. She is a cool character. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade!
It opens. The skylight. That's what we're talking about here, right?
Shoot me!
Bang, 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 bang.
All them skylights open dead easy.
More easy than you can load that weapon?
That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke window, You can't do it from inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul. I had purses coming out my ears.
Mr. Strayed, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities.
Yeah, let's do that afterwards. Let's hear about all the rich people you robbed. I'd love to hear about it.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't hop off the bus and leg it. So what I did was I used the skylight, opened the hatch and jumped right through.
What?
Yeah, the catch from the skylight is on the top side. That's why you can't open from the cabin.
The skylight opens from the roof deck?
Bailiff, climb up on the roof of the omnibus at once and verify the witness's claims. I'm gonna do it, sir, with my nipple hat.
Yeah, you can. There's a handle. There's a handle right there. Yeah, there's a lock.
Oh, my hat.
How did they think they were gonna get away with that lie? Did they really think that we were gonna check it? You can't open the door.
Oh, let's believe him.
Yeah, presentation's fantastic as always.
Order, order, order. So it appears that the street girl's statements is quite true.
Street girl? Okay, dude. Honestly, it's accurate. It's pretty accurate to the time. Like I know it's pretty similar still now. There was like so much prejudice against like people who were like on the streets or people who were poor. Like, you know, the idea of a pickpocketer, you were seen as kind of like a really like dirty, draggy person, which is so funny because like the reason that they're in that position is because there is like a massive hoarding of wealth, and there still is a massive hoarding of wealth between a lot of millionaires now and billionaires now. But like I think it's like more. I think more and more people, like back then you wouldn't really have like the poorest of the poor being like, no, I like Lord Baron the 55th. He's cool. He earned all of his money by himself. You know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really strange, like, seeing it from this perspective as well now. Calling her just like this random street girl. It's like, yeah, she has a name. She's a person. You wouldn't call a... You know, if that, you know, you'd call a baron by their title, but you wouldn't call them like, oh, that guy with the money. You know what I mean? It's just very, very disrespectful, and it is common and makes sense, is what I'm saying. Mr. Naruto, this could be a clue to the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Continue? Do we need more? So this guy that opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself. Perhaps we should investigate for ourselves.
If you're so sure the victim was Scarlet, where's your proof?
So we should... So this... He's asking us right now. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. Let's go inside. Wait, should we go on top, maybe? Let's go. So now we can look up. Okay. So the catch for the skylight is on the top side. Yes, but it's not fast in the moment, so we can't slide open from here. So you can't... Oh, there we go. Ah, there we go. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through the certainly, Mr. Naruto. Why someone like me? You know she loves abusing you. What is this? What is it? Look, just there. Look at this. That's without question. It's blood. Why would there be a blood stain there? Surely it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? The scene of the crime, there was a blood stain visible on the frame of the skylight when it's open. Okay, he's in trouble. You're in trouble! You killed someone and threw their body down! Here you go. Objection! I love the way he says it. Like, I love the way it is kind of like very different from Phoenix. On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach and immediately pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts. Oh, by the way, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Remember that spending the day alone is not a bad thing. In fact, you should maybe do something really nice for yourself. Those are the facts and the irrefutable proof. Buy yourself a takeaway. Just buy yourself a takeaway and watch some old, like, Kitchen Nightmares episodes or something like that. You know, do something nice for yourself. And, like, don't think about work or anything. Just do something completely nice for yourself. Don't even... And turn off your phone even if you want to. Just do something for yourself. The love for yourself is just as important as love for other people. Remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in the very courtroom.
That's utter humbug. You can't possibly have any evidence.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible.
Irrefutable proof? Here in this courtroom?
Counsel,
my lord.
I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is the evidence to which you allude?
Will you point out what that proves the victim fell through the roof deck to the skylight? I will do that. I'll do that for you, Your Honor.
Got it.
Got it.
By Jupiter, is that blood?
The bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. And so it follows that Miss Gilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime.
Oh, no.
No! There we go. Love it. Love it. Found innocent. There we go.
Order, order, order. But that's my voice. But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cat.
Sprayed up there? First you said it wasn't open. First you said it was never opened, right? And somehow it sprayed up there into the cracks of the cabin and of the door. Into the little wedge in the door. Somehow that happened, sir? You know what I think? I think you need to be executed. Take him to the gallows. Take him to the gallows. I'm against the death penalty, but you know what? At this point, you know what? You made your points. I'm joking.
And only found its way to the one particular spot on the skylight. Sure, that'll be very convenient. Yeah, get him McGilded.
Oh.
And let's keep it in mind, the skylight catch can only be fastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? 'Tis all too plain, if you see. The aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height there, so it is.
What? No.
But, it can't be. It's all...
Lies!
Hold it.
My fellow Joey members, I think we can all agree that this is a clear proof the defendant's innocent, can we?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't even want you saying I'm innocent if you're going to change your mind in 2 minutes, okay? There's my girl. How are you?
I believe we can, yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
I won't tolerate any of the girls' carriages being sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
That's actually like also another thing I like to talk about as well, because it happens a lot with Irish politics. I don't know how much it happens with American politics. You could probably explain to me maybe on a local level. But basically, you could have like one of the worst criminal crooks who like steals money, who is completely stinking rich. Like we have like politicians who make like way too much money and just sit on their arse all day. And like... It's so funny because like when you talk to the people that voted for them, you're like, hey, this guy literally like is against giving people like affordable housing, and it's like, yeah, but you know, like he fixed the roads, he filled up the potholes in the roads. It's like, okay, yeah, but like he also like has a really weird policy on like the native travelers in this country. But like here's the thing you have to understand now, right? He also fixed the traffic lights, and it's like those little weird and I think this is where like this kind of comes out. I think it happens in every country. Like she's like, hey, this guy who's like extorting people, but he did a few nice things for me. He did something nice for me, and like that's a totally like common thing that I see all the time, and I think it's such a nice touch in this game.
On three then, everyone. 1, 2.
Don't do it. 3. Juror number 1. Don't do it unless... Yeah, okay, I'm up for this objection. You know what? I agree with this objection because they're just going to change their mind in 2 seconds. I agree.
What should we be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks?
A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed? What are you doing? What are you talking? Yeah, what are you talking about? It's their fault to see it's clearly blood. I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the Omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least not until this trial began.
But are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was...
fabricated, my lord? Yes, and while this court has been in session. What? By who? Wait, it was a fabricated bloodstain? That's pretty rough, if that's true.
What a palaver. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded. I fell all over the capital for his fine contributors to public life.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I don't take kindly to slander. And I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGilded,
I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I'm well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in the great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens, that case that you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that even mean?
When you wield a fortune size... Oh yeah, someone was saying that they really liked wine. I wasn't insulting wine, I just prefer whiskey. When you wield a fortune the size of McGilded's. However, I don't drink, by the way, anymore. I haven't drank in about 5 months. Nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of the crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir.
Lord Van Zeeks, this will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel?
McGilded gives me a very scary vibe as well. He's kind of like the person you wouldn't want to cross as well. Like in this case, we're like right now we're trying to put away Lord, was it Fairplay? Or sorry, the banker Fairplay, and we're also trying to put away, or we're trying to defend McGilded. And the funny thing is about it is that the true, like, if we look at the court record for a second, I hope you don't mind me doing this. If we look at the record for a second, Magnus McGilded is a bad person. Like, we've learned this now. We know he's a bad person. This dude is a banker who wasted all of his money on gambling, wasn't it? Now, I'm not saying gambling is bad. I'm not trying to say that a gambling addiction is bad. But Bruce Fairplay is clearly not a good person. Bankers aren't great people as well. This is just an apprentice hat maker. We don't really know much about him, so I can't really put much blame on him. The real, like, victims in this case to me that I feel sorry for the most are Beppo at the moment, because I really feel like he is a worker who's kind of like underpaid. Thrice fired Mason, who died, who was being extorted. And of course, Gina, who's just trying to live her life and trying to get through and trying to survive in any way she knows how. Really, like, that's the people I feel sorry for. I don't really care if either one of these goes away. But I obviously want the right one to go away. But like, I don't really care. Like, I not in a way that I don't care about the case, but like, I'm kind of like, I'm very enthusiastic about the case, and I really love this case so far. It's probably one of my favorites in the entire franchise, across all the ones I've played. I just really feel like, you know, if either one goes away, I won't be as emotionally upset or just devastated as I would be in other cases, as I have been in the past. If that makes sense.
I think it's fair to say this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood in the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if you use all your cast your minds back, it's not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time. How could anyone have possibly put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel?
It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time the court has been in session. My learned friend, here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words. Yeah, he is kind of putting words in our mouth. He's very manipulative, isn't he, McGilded? As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during the trial? If you're asking me, I think it was in full view, but But is there any time that this could have happened? No, earlier on, we all evacuated the court. Do you remember this? As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something more important at stake here. Yeah. Well, there's always something more important at stake here as well. There's no evidence to suggest the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Good gracious. Explain yourself, counsel.
Remember the smoke bomb went off and we had to leave the courtroom. Yes, there is. It seems my Lord Nibby's friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I actually really like Van Zeeks. I really do. I think he's probably one of the best opponents we've had ever. I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. Bang. Yeah. Took a little sip of water there. Took a sip of water. Yeah, we saw all this. We saw all this in the previous episode. The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke, and in all the chaos. Oh, wow. It could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Wow, it's a big chatter here. Are you wise? Oh no. What are you trying to pull, you rotten feckless gouger? He said feckless. He said feckless. You're supposed to be defending me. I have actually really enjoyed defending you, but I have to, like, you know, I don't know. Feckless, by the way, to anyone who's not Irish, means like he's kind of calling him weak, like he has no strength or like he has no backbone. You're a feckless, you know, you feckless fool, yeah. That basically means like, hey, you have no legs to stand on, you're not brave, I don't trust you, and all this stuff. 'Tis a wicked plot. 'Tis a plot to undermine me, so it is. Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus.
Inconsistencies such as?
To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have a smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. There is, there's a it's a conspiracy going on for sure.
Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims.
That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut.
Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not.
Indeed, my lord, no doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry?
What do we think?
About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? I mean, I feel like, you know, the right answer is always like, I have an inkling. Isn't it? The answer is always like, I have an inkling. But like, I feel like, yeah, we'll go with I have an inkling, and look, we'll see what happens later. My lord.
Yes, counsel.
There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial.
What?
What in the devil names are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot, you better start watching your back.
That's a threat in the courtroom right here.
Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense clarification.
This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here?
I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel.
Can you help me out? So something here. Where exactly is the alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during? So the alleged mark. So it's a mark. Okay, so it's one of the bloodstains. What is this? I'm actually kind of curious. The pulse for the Great Exhibition is due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exhibition. Oh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. So, okay, we know that this wasn't here then before the start of the trial. We know this for sure was here because he was stabbed on the chair. Right? So this is like the only other mark we can think of. But I want to talk about it then. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this bloodstain is so obvious. That's, oh, so obvious. Ian Van Zeek's no mention of it. I suppose it's just, oh, so that's, they're giving me the answer. Yes, thank you, game. That's really cool. Thank you. If we consider that the victim fell through the skyline on the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom.
Good Lord. Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel.
Well said. That feels really good, right? That feels really good, having like kind of being on the same page, like in terms of like morals. I think with Van Zieks, it feels very good. Although, as advocates for the defense, one might say that it was a very clearly slip of the tongue. Oh, he's taking a breath. He's taking a breath. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether the evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. We feel compelled to do it. Whoa, it's blinding. Whoa, it's blinding. And it's showing up every... Ah! If I had face cam right now, you'd see every ugly part of my face.
This trial is over.
Oh no, no, Mr. McGillis, have we lost?
I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but 'tis all over now.
But you're the defendant.
'Tis over, I tell ya! Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. 'Tis all nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is the bloodstain is there now.
I see it again. I didn't look at the cabin until afterwards, I don't think.
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper at the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalised, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zieks. Well, my lord?
So cool, so cool. Such a cool breakdown.
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence, and the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence. I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue.
Your lordship can't be serious.
Lord Van Zieks, what is your position?
The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present yet. Wait, he's gonna win on a technicality? What?
Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first.
What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilder will be found not guilty. Yes, which would mean we've won. It doesn't feel good though. I don't feel good. Is that really the right outcome here? I imagine you guys probably feel bad as well. Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now with all these unexplained inconsistencies?
Counsel for the defense, your closing statements, please.
Yes, my lord. The defense believes... I've played 3 Phoenix Wright games, and there's one thing I've learned through playing all of those games, is that, and it's from admiring people like Phoenix and Edgeworth and even Von Karma and Maya, admiring people who honestly are just good, honest people in deep down inside. One thing I have learned from all of that is that my own personal gain in any trial is not more important than finding the truth and finding the actual truth that will lead to a guilty verdict for even my own defendant. I'm not about to lay down at all and just become one of those guys who just accepts that the defendant is going to get off because of a lack of prominent evidence. I'm not doing it. I'm here in this court today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGillet. However, at this moment in time, I cannot on good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence.
What are you saying, man?
Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove the defendant is guilty. However, There is no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. So he did kill them.
Good gracious me.
Really crazy outcome.
Order, order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. A defense lawyer calling the accused's innocence into question. Are you of sound mind?
Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect quite such an exciting spectacle at the end there, but still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella. And some fine work you've done, so you have.
Oh my god. What like a villainous person as well. What do you mean?
'Tis just the right honourable gentleman so succinctly put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
Oh my god. Look at it. Oh, he's right. He's not wrong. What else can we do? There's no further. Yeah.
I really don't know what to make of all this. Was evidence we've seen genuine or was it fake?
His lordship will be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said.
Yeah, what can you do at this point?
The stinking rich are always guilty of something, you. Mark my words. I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us a lovely park.
What are you saying, old woman?
Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
Jesus Christ, what an ending.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
But... Oh my god. I have chills all over. What a track. But we still haven't determined the bloodstain in Omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zieks, my lord, the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple.
If indeed the... Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. Presented... I guess just because we've gone through so many trials that it just feels really bad whenever like it ends in such a way like this.
If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution has fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place.
My sincerest apologies, my lord. Oh, he's objecting again! But wait. When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured.
And I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair. I'm getting so emotional. This is crazy. This is freaking great.
The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What? Oh my god, oh my god!
Well, Lord Van Zieks, I've got my own action back.
Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. Oh, he's so slimy and creepy. Oh, no! And this is Lord Van Zieks' like first loss? And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Oh my god. He loved the fact that we're a new lawyer. He loved it. He wanted something like that. Someone that he could easily manipulate. Someone that wouldn't like be as experienced and wouldn't find all like the little inconsistencies in his own like case. He like defended himself at some points. Like we saw that happened. Oh my god.
Do you mean to tell me that's all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGilded. I have chills all over. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting.
Good grief. You've more to say to me, have ye?
Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
Oh my god. This dude murdered somebody. This dude extorted people. And he still gets to keep his public image. Oh, it feels bad. It feels so bad.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Oh my god. No, no, no. This doesn't feel good. This feels terrible. This feels absolutely terrible. The music.
This is an outrage. You should have examined the evidence more.
What are you talking about? The man's been cleared. He's innocent.
Oh my. This is amazing. This is incredible. How is this not like nominated for like Game of the Year? Like what's happening? With the courtroom in the pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. With the defendant being found not guilty. Ostensibly a victory for us. It doesn't feel like a victory. It doesn't feel like a victory. The starting was a long trial. What it like that's like lighting a firework, and not only is the firework a dud, like the person you invited to watch the fireworks goes, I think I'll go home. This is what it feels like. Your first ever trial on foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. I don't feel good about this. And to you, Mrs. Otto, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. No one's happy about this. Yeah, no, I'm not happy about this. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. I think I have an idea. I think I have an idea. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Oh, that you did?
And Gina's there too. Mr. McGilded. And that girl was with him too.
Well, it seems the stories are true.
Oh, what stories?
About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when their verdict is not guilty. I'm sure you must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely.
I heard it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. I have you to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything.
What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out there a free man?
Because you frickin' planted evidence, you freak. You sick freak! I don't know if it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning.
You're a straight talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you hadn't be astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and it's strong. 'Tis water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh?
Aye. You've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abstinent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? Now the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters into their hands and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. Oh, you're a piece of work, aren't ya?
It's not that funny.
So then, As we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella.
I can possibly accept that much.
Be wished. You're a humble people, are ye? From the east? Well, if you insist. But have this still and all. You deserve a reward.
Mr. Magnus McGilded, huh? Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me to the courtroom. Into the courtroom?
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I was not convenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection.
Sorry? What inspection?
They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again? Now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of the London Society, I do believe doing my best to help where I can.
'Tis gentleman's duty, so it is.
So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. Hope you have a whale of a time and while you're studying here in Great Britain.
And there he goes, a free man.
And what do you feel about this? Gina, if that is your real name? It better be, Gina.
I forgot she was here too. Oh, shoot us! Get us! Don't move! Wait, is she actually gonna try and kill us? You gonna murder us? Is that what's happening here? Whereas I want to say get a move on, she really does take forever to load that thing. Mr. Stray, would you mind putting that thing down?
You're a grown-up.
Sorry?
And I ain't all grown-ups.
Me too, Gina. Oh, there you are. Who is this?
Naughty, naughty, running off like that. Who is this?
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, do you want to play?
You won't beat me. Yeah, Gina, I'd put it down.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Wait. Is she on the cover? I'm trying to look here. She is in the background. Yeah. A good day to you. Oh, I forgot you could see that too. A good day to you. Well,
I'm well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more whites. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be pretty colour, I thought to myself.
Do you have to be shrouded in the smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off for a moment while I was changing onto a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted with it with this telegraphic beacon.
Was it what? I have no idea what this girl is talking about.
Anyway, you'll come with me now, back to my laboratory. What for? To apologise, of course, silly. To my technician.
What, you mean, say sorry?
You must say sorry we've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before.
Adults are stupid!
Adults? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then, follow me. Fine, have a your way. Oh good, you see, I knew he'd want to do the right thing in the end.
I'm very sure that's what she wants now, is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. Yeah, it's like pretty much like holding someone at gunpoint. What is the outfit is really cool though. She has like the same glasses, kind of like Shomes.
We'll be leaving now then. Bye bye. I'm sorry for all the fuss.
She was a lively one. Everyone's a lively one. This is Ace Attorney. Well, do you think perhaps you ought to be on our way now too? Yes, you're right, but where to? Great music. We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner than we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
Don't worry though. I have a plan. If the worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but
Our usefulness will see us through.
oh my god. This is such a weird, like, ending to a trial. I'm not so sure about it. I think midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilda down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or mansion. And so, the trial to determine the worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of the first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. Oh, this particular case? So we beat... Oh, whoa, cutscene at the end, No.
How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed. No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Oh no. Again, beautiful colors. There's someone inside!
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
Is it? Who is it?
This can't be.
It's pretty much the voice I was doing for him. Whoa. Is it McGilded inside? That's how you create intrigue for the next trial. Holy hell. Someone destroyed the actual cabin itself. The Realm of the Reaper, which is probably just finished chapter 3 or episode 3. Yes, it will save my current progress. Thank you very much. Holy hell, what a trial. Probably one of, I think, like top 3 favorite trials in all of Ace Attorney so far. That was definitely in it. That was definitely one of them. So the next trial is the Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Oh, we're going to explore some really cool areas. Look at this like a study. I'm so excited for this. Let's reflect for a second. The video is far from over. Let's reflect. That trial was, first of all, was really great, but I think it was just so fantastic how, like, it flipped our minds completely, because that does happen during a trial, a real trial. I was totally on the side of McGilded, not on the side of him until I found out he was, like, extorting people, and then I just, like, stopped caring altogether about this fool. But, like, I honestly think that, like, they did a really good job of creating multiple characters who, like, I just didn't give an absolute damn about. Not a damn about. Multiple characters I wouldn't mind seeing going away. And also, like, it was also like this kind of, what would you say? It's kind of like, it's kind of like a bunch of characters that, I'm trying to explain it in a way that, like, makes sense. A bunch of characters that, like, I wouldn't mind seeing going away to prison, and then a bunch of characters who, like, really, like, I felt kind of bad for. But McGilded was a bad person. He was definitely a bad person. We kind of sniffed that from this point where we found out he was, like, extorting people. And I think the ending to that, first of all, the animation is always beautiful. But the ending to that was absolutely amazing. Start playing from the start of this episode. Episode 4, yes, The Adventures of the Clouded Kokoro. Let's do it.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly.
These are all really cool as well. I wonder will we see Sholmes for this again.
There is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that snowy evening.
What snowy evening? There's someone,
To
a
young
lady, oh, the knife in the back.
on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back. Lit in the soft glow of gas lamps, a most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, The curtain had risen silently on the insoluble
An invisible
mystery of
killer?
our invisible killer.
An invisible killer. Oh, we're back here. 19th of February, 9:47 a.m. British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. Did you sleep last night, Mr. Naruto? No, not at all. It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious, I felt like we were staying in a palace. And with all the gaslights twinkling, it was brighter than the day, even in the middle of the night. What about the enormous beds? After my time in the SS Buddha, I wasn't going to waste a single inch of that space. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other. Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Except, when I learned that we owed the £3 for the room, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Oops, sorry about that. £3 is a lot back then as well. The building was so impressive and the entrance was so inviting, I just wandered in without even thinking. In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money will put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. I'd be crying too! I really am sorry. Well, never mind. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less. London is a scary place. Good morning to you at this early hour. Is this him? It is him. Oh, yes, we're, well... Good morning to you, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday. Susanna-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid even in the presence of an imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes, I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation to British courtroom practices.
Yes, it was very eye-opening, thank you. In accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruto performed his duty to the end.
Yes, I've already been apprised of the events. Now, you conducted a remarkable defense. You may consider the test passed.
Oh.
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer.
So that's it? We're a lawyer. Okay, cool.
My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you.
A new case?
I'd like to take it on at once. I trust there won't be a problem.
Another case already?
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience.
I'm sure.
I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it. What's come to terms with it? The man was cleared.
What more were you hoping for? The culpability of the defendant has not, at the present time, been established by the court. Consequently, the majority will not be required to proffer judgment.
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. Oh yeah, he screwed us! It's not that funny. It's not that funny, bro. Calm down. Not that funny. I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGill really was innocent. Mr. Naruto. It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended. Well, you need to let him trouble you
for a second longer.
Sorry? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
Magnus McGill passed away.
He was in it. Yeah, he was in it. Oh my god, so someone burnt him alive. Mr. McGilded is dead? The birds did a good job there. Well done. Well done, birds. Yeah, we assumed it was him.
I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
He's very punctual. So I guess we just conversed with McGill Lizette. So he burnt alive. That's freaking horrific. I don't understand what happened. How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course, that was the scene of the crime which McGilded had been accused of.
Precisely. Where while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No. How could such a thing have happened?
That is being investigated as we speak, but already. The police have identified a corpse found inside the clawed shell of the carriage as that of McGilded.
That's awful.
The man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere.
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention. How could that have happened?
That is also being investigated as we speak.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus. Yeah, they usually don't let people do that as well, but apparently he insisted. Well, I must be making tracks. And I must be making tracks now. Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? We're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
An inspection of the omnibus?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage,
So someone lied to him. But then who is Mr. McGilded talking about?
never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
Poor Mr. McGilded.
So, how did you find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it was now. It was wow. This already means the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of the Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old. Wow, Suzuki-san has such a way with words. And you seem to have a way with failing to find the right ones.
The judicial system is here and the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can.
Well, it pretty failed there. The most advanced in the world, is it? Yeah, it failed pretty badly.
It was fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Simple? That was simple?
As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose.
I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Stronger, but the case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Oh, sorry, favorable verdict, sorry, that's not him saying, why would he say that?
Is something funny?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve. And that can only be attributed to the exceptional talent. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I prepared a new case for you that I mentioned before.
What's going on? What was he going to say before? The new case, yeah, we guess we have to look at the new case then. Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned? Don't tell me, it's a murder and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind?
That is to say, no one has died as yet. And the trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly. 23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
Huh. So the trial's tomorrow then. So I'm guessing we're going to do investigation then trial. So this might be a long one. This might be a long daddy. That's weird. Let's not say that again. Oh yes, I'm just a little confused, that's all. Yesterday's trial was, well, it left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer. Oh, Mr. Naruto. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom after McGilded's trial. It's kind of cool that we learned a bit from Van Zeke as well. And I think, like, we should take that as well as a lesson also.
Ah, yes, I nearly forgot. There's one similarity with yesterday's case. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
Oh,
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome.
the most terrible end awaits the defendant. Here we go again.
Your time is up. You will have to excuse me. I would advise you begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial.
Okay, no problem.
After all, the clock is ever ticking. There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits.
Last time he mentioned the 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
And one more thing, Mr. Naruto. There is something I should like to ask you.
What's that?
Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late compatriot, Mr. Asogai. I would be interested to hear what exactly you mean by that. Inside 34 seconds.
Okay, if you're putting me in a time limit, then how about you just go? Oh well, Cosmo used to always say, you see, that he wanted to learn how to be the greatest, learn how the greatest justice system in the world works, so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing. Oh,
Another thing, continue.
on the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me. There's something very important I have to do.
Something very important. And what exactly would that be?
He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done.
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion.
Mr. Naruto, what was this all about? Mr. Asagai never once mentioned anything of the sort to me.
I urge you to both focus on your attentions on the matter at hand.
Oh, we have a detective over here. He has like chips in his hand. Is that chips?
Yeah, it's chips in the cone. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. He'll be able to apprise you of the details.
How long has he been there?
So I wish you the best of luck, and bid you farewell.
There's something very important I have to do. Cosmo-san, what do you mean? What? I wish I knew, but honestly, he never told me. Anyway, we better talk to the detective, don't you think? Yes, you're right.
Oh my god, look at this design. Perfect design.
I hope I'm just imagining, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. So do we examine him? With his chips in his hand? Wait, is that's fish and chips? He's eating fish and chips. Really cool. His design is so great. Could we trouble you?
What do you think?
Lovely weather, isn't it?
What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eating out their hand, you know.
But Susanna just told me it was foolproof.
I'm a busy man. A very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
His design is so perfect. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying? Have you seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. And all because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I never even heard of. You hear that ripping sound? That's my reputation of the all going to tatters.
There's no need to rip us apart as well. I don't believe we've been introduced. This is Mr. Inosuke Naruto, a defense lawyer. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Mr. Naruto's judicial assistant, Su. It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it? What's he doing? No.
It's unreasonably fine, I'll grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine.
Unbelievable. How did she pull it off?
So, Lord Strongheart asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson? What's the matter with Suzato-san? Does Detective name mean something to her? Inspector Gregson. The best design I've seen in this game so far. I love like the chin adapting to like we're going right into the face. It's great. Inspector, are you perhaps the Inspector Gregson? The music. You're acting like you know this man, Susato, but he's a London detective. Oh, I do know him. Very well, in fact. Very well? Yes, he features prominently in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Oh, in that publication, what's it called again? Rance Magazine? That's right. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Holmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. I prefer Gregson already. Look at this guy. Really? You rival the great Mr. Holmes? That's incredible.
Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Holmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Mr. Holmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise. Gregson is the pick of the bad lot. Is the pick of the bad lot in Scotland Yarders. That's not a great compliment. That's his highest praise? Well, Mr. Holmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
No, he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name is known all over London town now.
That's great, isn't it? He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it.
I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof.
Well, that's wonderful.
No, it's not. It's not the most sinister than the man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumours about me under the breath, I'm sure.
Rumours? Are you quite sure?
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. The fame's gone to his aid. Stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper. So I can't catch exactly what they're saying, but I know what folk are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs.
I get the feeling this detective could be very hard work. Oh dear, perhaps the sudden rise to fame does change people. The case. So about the case that London Short Lord Chief Justice mentioned before.
Nothing to tell, really. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means that as far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
As a young woman was walking along the pavement on the by road, when she stabbed from behind. Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, but she still laid up in hospital, unconscious.
That's despicable. What sort of coward would attack a poor woman from behind or the front? I suppose you wouldn't have finished whoever it was with a solid takedown, would you? The hand on the hips. That is neither here nor there, Mr. Naruto. Brace yourself, Ryunosuke. You're angered her now.
Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. He barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. So there must have been something left at the scene that led directly to the culprit.
Or perhaps a reliable witness to recognize the person in question?
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one.
Sorry?
There's nothing you can do. There's no way to help the bloke now.
Why ever not?
Simple. The prosecution that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barock Van Zykes.
Whoa, we already beat him once though. On a technicality, really.
Sounds like you heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zykes. Believed to be the harbinger of death himself. The Reaper of the Bailey. We've beaten him before though, so we're now the Reaper of the Bailey. I am the Bailey Reaper. Lord Van Zykes, who we faced in court only yesterday. Mr. McGillis told us about him before the trial, didn't he? When Van Zykes stands for the prosecution, they call the accused as sacrificial lambs. In every single trial which has been prosecuted, the accused has been damned. It's kind of funny that the only thing that was able to defeat him was an absolute true liar and a grifter, you know? Kind of crazy that way, isn't it? This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that in yesterday's trial against Lord Van Zykes, Mr. Naruto secured a verdict of not guilty.
And what of it?
Oh, well, I think that means even against the Reaper the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you?
What do you mean?
What happened to that bloke in the end, eh? He's dead. True.
Facts. True facts McGraw over here.
Ah.
Max McGill became a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames.
So you can't really say you saved the defendant, can you?
What are you saying? It's not our job to defend him afterwards. We don't defend his life, you fool.
Look, if Anzixa gets the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles, he works magic. Black magic.
I really want fish and chips now.
I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
Are we really supposed to believe that?
Right, well, I'll fill you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. So I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said it, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am. And if you head over there to the holding cells, you can meet the criminals himself.
You've been branded a criminal already?
He's as good as, shaking like a leaf in his cell. Here's, it'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. He's inmate 53. Speak to the jailer, and he'll show you the way.
Inmate 53, thank you. Really, I still can't believe how good the design in this character is. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Bailey, they say. Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruto? To tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking. The idea of facing the Reaper in court again is... Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. That takes courage, too. This is like our first trial as a lawyer, a real lawyer, though. But if the man they've arrested is innocent, you could well imagine he would be shaken like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny. So, if I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'd be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try. So I think I'm going to make some inquiries. Will you help? Do you really think you had to ask? Yes, it's Otto, ride or die. After all, I am your judicial assistant. Thank you. So then, shall we? Yes! Oh, I love when she does that. So now we can move, we're going to move to meet the inmate that we're going to be defending. We can go to Briar Road, the scene of the crime, and go to the prison. I think we should go to, maybe we should go to the scene of the crime first? Or the prison? I think the scene of the crime so we can get all the information first. Oh, it's gorgeous. Kind of looks like Carlo. 19th of February, Briar Road. There's a snowman, he did it. It was me, coppers. Never catch me alive. And he just like shuffles away. So this is where it happened, Briar Road. Ah, look, Mr. Naruto. Look at that regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. Nipple hat. The men at Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak. That is their job, you know. But Mr. Naruto, to see it with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt I'd ever come this close. To a real Bobby's helmet. What? The helmet? Yeah, I agree. Nipple hat. Of course, I have to try one on one day. Well, I hope your hatty dream comes true. I don't see Inspector Gregson anywhere. Shall we see if we can sneak up past the investigation and scene of the stabbing? Why should we sneak? I don't want to upset one of those bobbies and be buttered in the head by one of those metal helmets. My skull would crack in two, I'm sure. Oh no, an English bobby would never do such a thing. This is a land of gentlemen, you know. Are you sure? The music as well. So let's take a look around. So we have Daily News, the Metropolitan, is that it? William Robbins Fractional Optician. So there's like an optician. We have like clothes up here hanging, which is actually really cool, like a clothesline hanging from each building here. Kennerson Brewery with Wilson's Waters. Is that it? Wilson's Waters. We can't really make out these signs. We have Strand Street, which is what the street is probably called at this stage. Like little shops over here. You imagine they're going to be like stuff like butchers and bakers and things like that. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. There's a broken bike here. Oh, a British bicycle, look. Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must be doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, he's an ally. He loves bisexuals. It's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both of your feet off the firm ground seems reckless. If you ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me. Well, we'll have to hire a bicycle sometimes. You can sit behind me and ride, and I'll ride you around. I'll do that. No problem. No problem. So this building here, that's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure there's a long and interesting history. It's really weird because, like, in American TV shows, like a lot of houses are built out of wood, and it's always very strange to see. It's like built out of like wood, and then during tornadoes, their houses get like freaking wrecked. That's a typical old brick building. I'm sure there's a long, interesting history. Well, times certainly. Tornadoes are weird. Tornadoes are weird, man. Think about it for a second. Just think about a tornado for a second. Wait, nipple building over there? Nipple hat? Conspiracy. Think about it for a second. Think about a tornado for a second. How weird is that? Or a twister. Think about a twister. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks like it's in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. We must find some cheap lodging ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonable level of floors. Cool. Very cool. There's nothing else to look at over here. There's a snowman. Hee hee. What a delightful snowman. I didn't realize English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Yeah, that's British snowman for you. What is a scarf? Look. You need one if you're out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment too. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely someone here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, I wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if they wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure 'tis that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. So we look suspicious? Okay, so this is the scene of the crime though. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding.
Oi! What are you foreigners doing here?
Ah. Oh, we're just investigating the scene.
Conspiring with that mustache fella from Japan, are you?
Conspiring?
Come here to destroy evidence, have you?
A mustache fella from Japan?
Get out of here before I give you an iron. Go on.
He shoot us away like rats. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. So we can't explore that. We could explore this, I guess. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to the crime scene and carry away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of these through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, I wasn't being serious. She has to be Maya's relative. So I think we can't, we don't have anything really else to do we? Right now. It seems that we're not allowed to examine anything else. Music's fantastic here as well. Yeah, it seems we're pretty much done here. Maybe we'll see if we can come back and do something after that, but let's go to the prison. There seems to be does that say just conversation? Ask. We haven't asked anything. Wait, what about you? Let's try it again. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe we try and do this again. No, we can't. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, let's go and move to the prison then. Jesus Christ. What is this? Pirates of the Caribbean? 19th February, local prison, cell 9. So there are British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It just feels like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Miss Naruto. You're making it seem worse. Oh, the crying face always gets me. Apparently, our client is in this cell here, but it's so dark back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like.
Inmate 53, your legal representative here to see you. Stop idling at the back of the cell and show your face at once.
Am I a cat? As yet with no name? Call me by a number. It's utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. What's your name then? Give us your name. Mr. Naruto, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tired of complaints was in Japanese. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at this design too. Pretty fantastic. That's a fantastic design. Like, the designs of this game are, the character designs that make this game are like utterly amazing. And I love how, like, cartoonish they look. It's such a good, like, vibe for the game as well. I love it. I love it. Excuse me, but who are... Shh, quiet! Oh my god.
They're all around, hiding. I know they are. They're watching, listening, even now. I can sense it.
Right. So, could I ask you...
There you are. You've come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost.
A ghost? Oh my god, this guy's a bit off. We mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Prisoner-san! Japanese by any chance? Are you Japanese by any chance?
This is... beyond my wildest dreams. Forgive me for that once before. I'm so sorry.
We have to remember he's not British. With we love to do a British voice, but he's not British. We were just a little surprised, that's all.
Imagine it. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am, in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tunes of a compatriot's voice here in the damp dark hellhole was a most monumental, moving moment.
Who could have guessed that his new client, Lord Stronger, assigned us to would turn out to be a fellow Japanese?
Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing, Nippon.
Okay, dude. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example?
Yes, I can, I will. Shan't, stay, sullen, and silent.
I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruto. And I'm Naruto-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikutaba.
I am a visiting student sent here by our government, notoriously named Natsume. Soseki Natsume.
So we can converse with Natsume now. Soseki Natsume. Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name.
Call me Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. A writer of haiku. It's something of a nom de plume.
A nom de plume? You mean an alias? That's right, Naruto-san.
No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
And haiku? That really reminds me of my home. Did you hear, did I hear you say that you were visiting students sent over here by the government?
Yes, that's right. A year ago, I was told to go and study English. First, I had to suffer that misery, and now this. It is beyond pale.
Suffer that misery? Did you not want to study here?
No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it, no?
What do you mean?
If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study English language. Utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable.
I see.
Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on white washi.
You must be a man of great standing.
Oh yes, so I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems. The accusation against you. Could you perhaps tell us exactly what you've been arrested, Soseki-san?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder.
Murder?
Oh, no. It's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes.
Before your eyes? You mean just you saw the attacker? He is so nervous.
I didn't see anyone.
What?
If I see the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me?
It's the curse. The curse of London. It's incredibly, irritatingly inconvenient.
This is already getting annoying, Soseki, so you're gonna have to stop this right now. We're gonna have to talk about this. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. About the case, okay. Yeah, so he didn't see the attacker, but he has, like, I'm assuming, like, like he said, he saw her.
It was an accursed evening, just after the snow had started to clear, and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to the accursed lodgings. Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed? Sir, are you sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too? I was walking along the cursed pavement. I could make out the sole silhouette of another head ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat, she was, and just as I went to overtake her... What the hell? She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet.
How terrible.
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard.
Slightly exaggerating there, perhaps. Jesus Christ. Not a great design from the back, at least. The knife in the back.
I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. They'll say it was a shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that. I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people.
I see. A young woman, unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you?
Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
No one? Oh, great. So the victim was unknown to you and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum. It does, doesn't it? What conundrum? What do you mean? Like, there's no killer. If we didn't see a killer, what can we do? We've no one to pin this on. What do you mean, Suzaru-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san said just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says they didn't know the victim, and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
I did.
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. You... What did you just say? Nothing, I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Saseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. Yeah! So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh yes, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective.
Could it? No. I shall never forget the man's name as long as I live. With his hard laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Bash, big-headed busybody, be gone. It's him. He's here. He is here. He is here. Our boy is here.
I mean, look, it's nice to see him here. It's nice that he will be here. I knew it, yeah. Mr. Sholmes?
Herlock Sholmes. Let's go. We know him. We know it's here. We know it's here. You know he's here. Our boy is here.
Well, I didn't expect to hear his name from this man's lips, but that's for sure. He can only be a benefit, though. He is pretty helpful. He did help us with the trial, so there's no reason for me to be worried. I'm actually pretty excited. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on silver and hard cheese when some men suddenly burst into the door. They started shouting at me. This is the police. Put the weapon down. Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't needing a weapon. Disgusting. Dietary. Discrimination. Devils. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That Herlock Sholmes. It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I since found out he's a famous name in detecting here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stupid kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. Of course you were. That's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, foreign, flammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, good point. But my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like that. Yes, I do, and it's fine. So next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine. He's not fine now. So we got a great discussion out of this great character. Again, the characters in this game are off the charts in terms of like how good they are. I love it. I love them so much. I love meeting new people in this game. It's actually such a fun thing. Mr. Naruto Esquire. Oh, you can just call me Naruto. And when we're speaking English, a simpler Mr. is more than enough. Oh yes, all right, yes. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour. Student? The eyes are like Soul Eater eyes. That's really cool. I have a defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only one though. Only one though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Oh, Naruto-san. I'm not even a foreign student who was supposed to... I'm not even the foreign student who's supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. That armband... That is the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? Oh, that's actually kind of sad. Like, again, like, I think there's kind of like a good correlation between the two of us. We're both studying here. We're both kind of lost. We're both trying to find out what, and we've both been accused as well on our way over here. But also at the same time, like, he's incredibly worried that, like, he's going to be, you know, done for murder. And that armband gave him kind of a peace of mind, just like it gives us peace of mind, but it's kind of shattered now.
I know exactly what they're saying about me.
What do you mean?
The lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
Goodness, why? Why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Suzaki-san.
And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man will be a waste of time, they said. And of course, the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me.
I think this is a common theme in the game as well. And like, I think that a lot of people say, oh, you, like, I've gotten comments before, and these comments, by the way, are dumb. I'm just gonna say that right away. And these are just, they're very rare. They're very rare, so I don't want to like draw attention too much. But like, some people say I read too much into things. I love like analyzing stuff and like seeing stuff deeper into messages and games and stuff like this. I think in this game there is a constant theme of like prejudice, and I think also a constant theme of like unknowing. Being afraid of what we don't know, being afraid of not knowing, being afraid of not understanding. And that's a common theme throughout this entire game since the beginning. And I think that it works so well with a new lawyer trying to become a lawyer, because he's also like learning new information about people. He's also has to defend people that wouldn't usually have a defense. Look at the people we defended so far. We're now about to defend our own Japanese person. We've defended an Irish person who was a criminal who, again, my own prejudice, and maybe as an Irish person, even like myself, was totally willing to back him up. And throughout that whole trial, there was like a whole like thing with that as well. Like, I genuinely feel as though a lot of this is about putting your trust in people. A lot of it is about putting your, and that's been a theme since the start of Phoenix Wright as well, by the way, guys. This isn't just like something that I've made up as well. And I really like it. I really do like it.
So at the very least, I'd like to trust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue.
Very emotional speech from this guy as well.
You could do it, couldn't you? When I look at your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. I can see what you've been through.
Suzaki-san, it's just that. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here all alone, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruto Esquire.
We should be going then, Mr. Naruto. I really want to defend him. He's really made me want to defend him. I feel so bad for him. We have a case to prepare for. We know the same feeling. We came here, like, kind of, like, unknowing what we're going to be doing, you know? Like, we didn't, like, exactly understand everything about this place. You know, we can totally feel for him. Like, I can feel for him, at least. I guess we can go back to Briar Road. Oh, there's him. The greatest design in the history of video games. What's the Japanese delegation doing here? Oh, Inspector Gregson. This isn't on the tourist trail, I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course. We're here to investigate. So you've been to Loudon South then? What'd you make of the criminal? He's eating the fish and chips. He's not a criminal as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. See what I mean? Like, this is definitely, like, yeah, it is our own, against our own preconceived notions all the time. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Oh, the stone cold air of rejection. This is, look at the scene we have here. It's gorgeous. Take heart. London this time of year is full of stone cold air. That makes it worse somehow. The music is absolutely fantastic. Can we converse with you? Scotland Yard. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the pilot place. There's also this really funny thing that Susato kind of like, we both all come here kind of being like, whoa, this is amazing, you know, this is so great. And the people here are just like, please F off. Please go away.
The Yard is the most sophisticated police organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. It does make them look the part, seeing the policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. Oh yes, doesn't it look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I tell you.
I'll tell you.
Oh really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round the houses, and all the labourers on the beach so he can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on the windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just none of his duties. After that, he starts to tirelessly patrol the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance.
I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Let me see here. This is Kopaganda? 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo or Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. It is hard work. Like, that is difficult.
And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my. I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate the cases as well? And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside. But yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruto. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. About the case.
It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed under the blade from behind.
It's right that the lady was still unconscious now. You mentioned that she's been treated in the hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out that much about her at all.
I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
It's yard policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go home.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
The local map has been added to the entry into the court record. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim of your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it?
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claimed to not have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can't be sure that no one else was present.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed.
What?
We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses now? Witnesses. Phew. Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a couple from Scotland Yard.
Ah. A policeman? That might change things. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of the being a bobby. Catching them bang in the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask the policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow?
Oh.
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's then he's got no intentions to let us meet the man before. And the art design in this game, I'm just going to say this right now, if I was able to judge this last year by playing it last year when it got remastered and remade, I'll just say this right now fully, this would have won best art design for me. Why wasn't this nominated for best art design? And don't say, well, if other remasters can get nominated, this can get nominated for best art design too. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you, this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yeah, especially since they're very trusted as well. Yes, as non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Here's one more thing, Inspector.
What?
Who led... the person who led you to the suspect. I heard that it was Herlock Sholmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The color has drained from his cheeks. Mr. Sholmes. Let's go, Mr. Sholmes, and we'll talk about tomorrow's trial last, I guess.
Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was from Natsume who mentioned it. He said Mr. Sholmes was the police when they entered the lodgings. I'm sure it was a result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle. The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble. Ever seen this before?
Oh yes, that's Rance magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of the Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any of Herlock Sholmes' tales at all.
So that's pretty interesting, like that. Everyone at the Yard kind of literally is against Holmes because he's kind of like made a mockery of like what they believe to be their justice system, I suppose, or like at least their job. Pretty interesting.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be front by the public thanks to obnoxious detective. That man's as dangerous to us to Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. And what about tomorrow's trial?
That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Yeah. Well, it's really cool that he's doubting himself, though, and doubting this trial. That's really cool. That's like, it's just not like, you know, like not the hero. It's kind of like the hero's journey.
Makes no difference to me, but I will say this. No London lawyers worth the salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
That's right. He handpicks the victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
But Mr. Natsumi wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely.
That's my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but didn't kill her. You couldn't even say that the intent was there. Though this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can't tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again, the Lord of Darkness, as he put it? I guess we will. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruto, can I make a suggestion? Oh yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. Sholmes? By whom do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Yeah, she's excited. Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. She's so excited to meet him. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even. It's Baker Street. Oh god, she's ready. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 2221 Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better hurry, we better try to find our way before Susato-san gets any more excited about an unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon the carriage. So we're to have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. He did say we meet again. So we can move to... Cool. Okay, very cool. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. I'm very excited. Of course, we're going to be doing 2-hour videos until about Thursday, because I have time off. As you can see, I'm stretching now. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.